Hi, my name is Gay Smith. I'm the Technical Manager for Chrysler Americas, and I want to make a short video about processing. Today we're going to start with processing roses. This can be either on the wholesale end or if you receive them as a retailer or as a supermarket flower person. So first thing we're going to start with the roses. Roses are always the trickiest, and if you get it right with roses, generally you've got it right all the way along the board. So with processing, the first thing that's most important to consider is how you set yourself up. First, get all of your solutions ready, your buckets prepared. Always use cold water. It travels much faster through the stems, and sometimes speed is really important, especially at the holiday time, or just let's say that you're processing in the morning and you know you need to start working with those flowers right away. Keep in mind that all of the flowers, minimum an hour in your solution so that the stems can fully fill. I really like to suggest 2 to 4 hours minimum. Overnight is even better, but I know with logistics, just keep in mind, don't ever take boxes that are dry packed directly from a box and put them directly into some kind of an arrangement or some kind of preparation without allowing time for the cells to really fill. So, prepare your solutions. In this case, because we're dealing with roses, I could either use Rose Pro Hydration or I could use Chrysler Professional number 1. Both of them work great. They're based on different formulas, but it's really up to you. We sell Rose Pro Hydration as a rose product, but the truth of the matter is it really is great for any hard to hydrate type of flower. So, the directions are on the back. With the Rose Pro Hydration, it is it's 2 capfuls per gallon and a quarter of water, and here the solution is, the measurement is on the top, and it's 1 pump per 2 gallons. So both are rather lean mixtures. So what I did was I set up a bucket and I measured it with 1.25 gallons because I wanted to show the Rose Pro Hydration, and then you can see I just took a piece of tape and indicated where that was. You know, of course you're not going to measure every one of your buckets, but measure at least one of every size in your department so that whenever and whomever is processing the flowers, they know at a glance what the measurement is. Because if you guesstimate with flower foods or any kind of hydration solutions, you're really wasting money. You need the ratio of ingredients to be in sync to get 100% efficiency from any solution. In fact, it's so important that we say that if you don't measure, it's better not to use anything. Under-measuring is what kills us, because when you under-measure, you don't have enough clarifiers to keep the bacteria in check. Over-measuring is not the biggest deal. It's a waste of money, which is the issue there. But over-measuring, going heavy-handed on solution mixes is much better than, you know, if a little bit's okay, then I'm just going to use half the amount. So anyway, set your bucket up, measure your solution. In this case, it's going to be this Rose Pro Hydration. It's 2 capfuls per 1.25 gallons. So I just pour it out here. Then I open up my roses, which I already took them out of the wrapper because you can't hear with that crinkling over on the video. And then I want to remind everyone that the cells in a rose that actually pull the solution up the stem are located on the undersides of the foliage. So it's really important, leave as much foliage intact as possible. Of course, remove what's ever going to fall below the solution line, but otherwise leave it there because these are literally the lungs of the flowers. And I'd like to also suggest if you're going to strip, use a nice soft stripper of some kind like this rather than the metal ones, because the metal ones tend to damage and rip into the bark. So if you're going to strip roses first. In this case, I'm not going to have to remove any foliage on these stems because the foliage is not going to be under the water line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these stems and place them immediately into, and if I was at a wholesale house, I would not do it one by one just for time, labor efficiency. So I'm going to act like I'm a wholesaler here. I'm going to cut these stems. I'm going to take off at least 1 inch. We always say between 1 inch and 2 inches because all of the bacteria and pollutants are jammed up in the lower inch of the stems. So you really want to give a nice sharp clean cut. I like shears, a knife is fine as well. And then immediately place the flowers in the solution. That's a big point that we often forget. Don't take a phone call, don't cut and then go get your buckets and set up. Don't cut and then start stripping or peeling off the guard petals, because the cells start to close over immediately as soon as you cut, and you want to make sure that you have total free flow in that those stems once you cut them. So put them immediately into water, and then you can go back through and clean them up a little bit. You can see I've got some botrytis here on this particular rose. Only clean and peel off the guard petals that are damaged or diseased. Don't go heavy-handed on peeling off the guards, because two reasons. One, it opens up the bud structure of the flower, which of course causes it to open more quickly. And two, you trigger the internal production of ethylene as a wound response when you peel the guard petals. So don't go crazy on peeling the guard petals. Remove them if they're blemished, if they're diseased, yes, but otherwise leave them intact and let your roses drink. Again, at least an hour. I like 4 hours better overnight. You're right on. Thank you.